Hi, and welcome to the red belt to black stripe belt curriculum overview for Barrie Taekwondo. So, we've been doing this for a long time. You're in great shape. Flexibility's come a long way. Been learning a lot of the soft skills, the Hosen Sul, chokes, grabs, holds, jiu-jitsu style techniques. Ready to put it all together now. So, let's go over your curriculum. I'm going to go through your form. Now, in another video, of course, I did Pumse Taekwondo Paljong. So I'm just going to detail it and point out the most common mistakes made. As well, I'll go through your Korean, your basic techniques that you're going to need to know. But keep in mind, for your black stripe grading, you're responsible for all of your previous knowledge. So, getting ready for this grading, I would strongly suggest going back through the video series, taking a look at all the earlier forms, taking a look at all the earlier curriculum. So, first of all, your blue stripe, Korean and new basics. Take a look at this. Take a picture, freeze it. Doing a mountain block first. This is from your form. One hand straight up. It's not up here. This part of your arm isn't parallel to the ground. Down here such that the wrist is at the area just under your nose. Okay? Other arm is down in a low block, and in this form, it's done in a modified apkubi, like this. One hand down, one hand up, looking to the side. Make sure that you are on a plane. You're not here, or here, or here. Straight on a plane. We sentul maki. Next we have jumping turning hook kick. Dudora dui ochagi. You'll be responsible for breaks with that kick, by the way. Uppercut chin punch. This is from your form as well. And how it works in the form is hand at your hip upside down from usual chamber, other hand grabbing the back of attacker's head. 1, 2, 3, 4. And at the very end, both the hands change. This goes to the shoulder. And this is called Dankyo Tok Chigi. Tok is chin. So you can describe a strike in a number of ways, what part of your hand or knee or elbow that you hit with, and what part of the anatomy you're aiming for. So this is Dankyo, rising Tok Chigi, chin strike. Last, target striking, Pyojok Chigi. We've seen that before, crescent kicks, Pyojok Chigi. Okay, so let's talk about your form. Pumse Taekwondo Paljong. The most common mistake that comes to mind first is the hardest form to end up back where you started. Now don't worry about it too much at the start, but once you put all the techniques together, just pay attention to where you end. There's 3 places in this form that it's easy to migrate to one side and back a little bit. So watch for those. Watch, by the way, watch your form in the video series I posted, Paljong, and I actually have to fess up here. Watch that form and watch my feet at the very end. I cheat. I overcompensated too far to the other side, and I had to shift a little bit at the very end. Just watch my feet there. I was expecting Mr. Steve Stein to mention something, or maybe Mr. Carr, but I guess not. Okay, so let's go through the form. I'll just go through the major mistake areas. Of course, at the very start, hands come up to here, and then remember, you have to pivot with this foot, step out, translate on an angle to go into your bande jurugi, punch, double front kick, inside block, double punch, punch, and then we set up for this we sentul maki. So here we are here, and then here, and then setting up my hands for low block this hand, high outside block this hand, step around, and into Wee Sento Maki. And again, the important part of this is when you do Wee Sento Maki, your legs are straight. You're on a plane. We're not off to the side. It's a front stance, but you're in a line. It's modified. You're aiming angled over to the side. So, do two of those. We do a kawasogi, an ap kawasogi from one side to the other. So, from here I step out. I do my first denkyo chigi. And here I step in front to go to the other side and we sento maki. A habit there in people is to go too far and throw yourself off center on your form. To here. Step out punch, kick, step, step, palm block, biom, sogi. Now watch going into this next technique to the side, hands up. This dual sonal monton maki, double open hand block, middle block. It's the same technique as we have another form, sajang at the start, but in a back stance. Watch the difference here between a back stance, dui kubi, and that technique. Dosonal montomaki. Here, see how I'm sideways, but watch in biomsogi in a tiger stance, cat stance, 1 foot out 30 degrees, heel to toe, bend your knees just touching with the front foot, and I'm here. I'm more front facing in this stance in this same technique. So from there, front leg, front kick, and then step out, punch as you step down. Synchronize this, so as I step down, I chamber, I get ready, punch. Here's the most common problem with this form, is right here. Most people don't do this too quickly, don't get that back leg straight into a proper front stance. So watch it again, and the habit is, I'll do it to the side, kick, punch, and this leg isn't turned into a proper front stance, coming back, palm block. Other side, 1, 2, 3, make sure it's a front stance, coming back. And the final moves in this form. I'll do it straight at you, here. Again, it's not a double kick, it's a front kick, re-chamber, then jumping front kick, inside block, double punch. Watching your last techniques. Setting up for outside middle block, knife hand. Hand sonal, back hat, monton maki, in back stance. Here, I'll do this part at you now, in a back stance, and then step out into a front stance. Watch how the elbow comes underneath and snaps out, face level. Back fist in the same spot, middle punch. Only 1 foot moves now. We don't move this foot yet. This foot only moves, turns, same technique to the other side. Watch where you land. So those are the most common areas of concern in Pumse Tiger Paljong. Tape yourself, send it to me, let me see it. Next thing, let's talk about your Hosensu, which is your non-percussive or non-striking techniques. We've worked with wrist twists, elbow lockups, arm bars, behind the back, chokes. You're responsible for all of those. And that comes under all previous techniques. Again, go back through the other belt levels, go through the requirements, you're responsible for it. So, one of the things that give people the most concern is the scenario. And it should be the simplest part of your grading, really, because you're just doing 6 techniques in succession that you should already know pretty well. But then we're going to throw into that, oh hi Elsa, how are you? But then we're going to throw into that some considerations when you are in a real situation. If there are two people, then theory of multiple attackers is a part you don't engage. Get rid of it by verbal means. We go through all that stuff, of course, but don't get caught in between. Don't get backed into a corner without an escape route. So simply pick your 6 favorite techniques, and they can be very simple. Step to the side, just guide someone past. Very simple releases. But remember that they increase in level of threat and level of response. Your last technique or 2 should be weapons defenses and end with you entirely disabling your opponents. So, all 1 steps. In other words, you're going to be responsible for likely 10 or more 1 steps in succession. As we talked about before, just make sure you think about it simply. Keep it simple. Go in a direction, either moving inside, moving to the back side, moving out, creating distance, and coming in with longer range techniques. Stop hit directly. Combination block strikes like Jevi Pul Malkjigi. Use your imagination, show me something fun. Keep it simple. You do not have to do lockups, takedowns, chokes at the end of this. You don't have to finish them. Single or multiple strikes is fine. And of course, when you're grading, I may ask for more. We'll see. Well, you know, pretty much guaranteed I will ask for more. So get them in your head, get used to them, make them come naturally to you. 3-step sparring techniques we have in this grading. The important part is maintaining the traditional stances. This is traditional martial arts. I mean, if I said, defend against me attacking you in 3 different ways, and how I would expect you to move is very different than traditional martial arts requirements. In other words, if you came in and tried to kick me here, I'd like to go, whoa, block, get down, hands up like this, get ready for a second one, then you strike me high, move to the side, block high, as opposed to 3-step sparring, which is, fully in apkubi, 1, 2, 3, and back up. But you can do them in back stances. You can do them in cat stances when the other person attacks. But you have to keep them in traditional stances, blocks, setups. And then there's the dreaded all previous techniques, which would mean get to know your wrist locks and twists, right? We learn them from a grab, strike, distract, whatever, grab the thumb side or grab the other side. Work with those. Have somebody in your house, have a partner, grab, go one side or the other side, work with those, and then the same technique you just did from a grab, from a strike, block, strike, trap, same thing. So all of these techniques, the wrist, elbow, finger, shoulder locks, chokes, all of these we can end up in that position from a number of threats. So then you take a weapons attack and move to the side, block, strike, 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 trap, same technique as we started from a grab. Now the last thing I have to speak about before being ready for your grading is students must attend 24 classes total other than their own class time working as an assistant instructor to experience teaching and leadership skills in order to grade for a black stripe or first belt. Now, the opportunity to join us at Barrie Taekwondo and to act as an assistant instructor, truthfully, is a privilege. You've worked very hard to get where you are, and so I make this learning opportunity available to you. Best thing I ever did for myself was when I was a young person, 12, 13 years old, I helped out teaching gymnastics at my local YMCA just down the road. I won't go through the number of things that it does for you, just to say when we start up again, schedule it, get yourself in here, get some assistant teaching time in, especially with the 4 to 6 year olds. Do yourself a favor, hang out with 4 to 6 year olds a bunch. It's an experience. Okay, so that's it for now. Oh, of course, there's your gold stripe to be ready for your black stripe belt grading. And of course, that means making sure your school, making sure your working world, making sure your home world are all good and all kept up. Thank you, everybody. Hugs to you all. Hope you're well. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Kamsa. Amnida.